made a comment about how you was one of the few rappers that never sold their soul. What made you say that?
Because I know majority of these rappers. Yeah. I know what be going on behind the scenes. I know who not really in control.
Come on, bro. Every year, they're like, yo, who is the new street rapper that need to get signed and get pushed out there? Not in one city, but in every major city. Every year, it's like, man, who is the new street rapper that we could sign that's gonna impact the masses in their city, and we gonna blow them up, and they young, so they don't realize that they being used right now, you heard me? They don't realize it. We're gonna make them rich, and we're gonna get one from every major city, because that way, we can make sure that they give birth to a whole bunch of mini-me's that's looking up to them.
You know, a lot of times people be blinded by what they see in these videos and on TV, but I just know, I know what I know, man.
The whispers have always been there, circulating through backroom deals and hushed conversations. You've seen the unexplained rises to fame, the sudden shifts in an artist's image, and the unsettling feeling that something far more sinister than business is at play in the music industry. What if someone who lived through it, made millions independently, finally exposed the shocking truth?
Houston legend Lil Flip, a man who built an empire without bowing to major labels, just dropped a bombshell that will shatter your perception of mainstream rap.
I know what be going on behind the scenes. I know who not really in control. You know what I mean? I know the real. You know, a lot of times people be blinded by what they see in these videos and on TV, but I just know, I know what I know, man. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people that ain't being righteous and they ain't keeping it infinity, because keeping it 100 ain't enough. That's a limit. For me, you gotta keep it infinity. So it's just a lot of people, man, that just, you know, selling their soul and selling themselves short and distracted with the wrong things. So, you know, it is what it is, man. This industry is a very evil industry, you know what I mean? Like, it's very evil, man. So you gotta really surround yourself with people that think like you or bigger than you. So it's a nice amount of, I ain't gonna even say nice, it's a lot of rappers that sold their soul, and you know, they let money dictate everything they do. They value money more than they value humans. I ain't participating in no bullshit. If it ain't righteous, I don't want to be a part of it, man. I'm not gonna snake my people. Yeah, I ain't gonna snake my people, and yeah, I can't sell my people out, and I ain't gonna sell myself out. Fame ain't that important, man, for me to just do anything. It's cool. I'm used to the attention.
He claims the vast majority of artists you see flashing wealth and dominating airwaves have made an unthinkable trade. They've sold their souls, not metaphorically, not as a figure of speech, but in a way that forever binds them to an industry designed to control and corrupt. And what they tried to make Lil Flip do will absolutely chill you to the bone. They tried to send people to his house for spiritual cleansing, but that disturbing request is just a glimpse into the dark heart of an industry where gatekeepers demand far more than just creative control. Something truly evil is happening behind the scenes, and most fans have no idea.
While you're distracted by flashy videos and celebrity drama, Flip's testimony pulls back the curtain, revealing an industry that isn't just exploitative, it's actively predatory. He's seen it firsthand, talented individuals transformed into hollow shells, chasing fame and fortune at an unimaginable cost.
Once you influential, then you're an asset to them, right? So once you understand your value position, right? Like, you could be an independent guy, putting work in, and get to a point where you're good enough for them to purchase your soul, right? And when you see, there's no artist, let me be clear, there's no artist in this industry that's doing major numbers with these platforms that haven't sold their soul. And when you know what you're looking at and you know how to decipher you will see it. And the people like the brother right here who has this merch and is doing it out the trunk and direct to consumer, you will never get to that $20 million club without going through certain doors.
So now I gotta ask this question.
So E40 didn't do it?
Hold on. Now I gotta ask this question. Do you guys believe that the rappers that are at the top sold their soul.
Yes.
Nope.
Somehow.
Yes, every single one.
According to Flip, these aren't just struggling artists making tough business decisions. They're willing participants in a system that values money over humanity. They've traded their integrity for temporary glory, embracing a path that Flip himself steadfastly refused. His success, built on God, family, and unwavering principles, stands in stark contrast to the compromise he witnessed around him.
The industry's recruitment machine operates with terrifying precision. Not randomly, it meticulously targets desperate young Black artists, specifically those with compromised moral foundations.
Yes. Industry plans exist, yes. The music industry will conspire to say, what this artist represents is something that we need more of in America. So if it's extreme ignorance, if it's watered down blackness, if it's whiteness that represents being able to be cool and be accepted by Black people, whatever it is, we want more of that. So we will do everything in our power to make this person pop off and be a star, to push this agenda. Or we have a vested interest financially in seeing this artist make it. Because not only do we have this artist signed to us, but we manage this artist, and we know that this artist is gonna create a whole generation of people just like them. Yeah, they definitely got industry plans. Yes, all of these Black artists who ain't even old enough to understand the contract that they about to sign, and who are being signed just because they had one thing that went viral, that they glorifying a bunch of and a bunch of just negativity, and all of a sudden they about to get paid millions of dollars. Those are industry plants. The industry knows the impact that those artists will have on the rest of their community. They know it. And they're just like, oh man, we need that person to make it for sure. But if you are representing something positive or something righteous or something intellectual or godly, you absolutely have to do way more work to make the industry say, all right, we're gonna let him in. It's like, all right, we're gonna let a J. Cole in. We're gonna let a Kendrick Lamar in. But we got enough. We got enough of them. You know what I'm saying? We got enough of them. You realize that J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar are two of the richest rappers walking planet Earth today? Two of the most successful rappers? Why would the industry not want more J. Coles and more Kendrick Lamars?
Yeah, they don't even floss or anything, bro. You don't see them with jewelry, none of that.
Bro, J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar scare the industry, because if they let more of them in, you're gonna have a whole generation of people coming up who are Black, who are saying, I ain't even gotta flaunt no jewelry, you heard me? I ain't even gotta flaunt fancy cars, and I can be intellectual, I can be woke, I can be a man of God.
Or rap about it.
Or rap about that stuff. And if you got a whole generation of Black people that's coming up, that's like, man, there wasn't one J. Cole and one Kendrick Lamar. There were a ton of them, and they were all huge. Now, keep in mind, a ton of people exist who are doing the same type of work that Cole and Kendrick are doing, and they're doing that work in their own way. I'm one of the people, you know, and there's a bunch of people that are doing that, but for the mainstream music industry, man, they don't want a bunch of that to exist, bro. Like, it doesn't make sense why you wouldn't want more of that.
They're not looking for established, successful independents like Lil Flip. That would risk exposure. Instead, they stock struggling musicians, drowning in debt, artists whose pride has been systematically broken by years of rejection. These gatekeepers study potential victims, like scientists observing lab rats, cataloging every weakness and financial pressure. They seek out those glorifying negativity, those with viral moments pushing destructive messages, because these are the artists that fit into a sinister agenda. These young talents are often too young to even understand the contracts, let alone the true cost of their success.
And what exactly do these gatekeepers demand when they finally make their move?
Have you ever been approached to do anything out of pocket?
I've been approached to have somebody come to my house and pray. And yeah, like, hey man, this guy, yeah, he's like he gets spirits out, and you know, he wants to come and pray. I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I want to continue to pray the way I've been praying. I don't know who he believe in and what he believe in, but he can't come in my house. So, yeah, peace. I kept God in what I got going on. I kept God. I keep God in what I got going on. I don't love money. I talk for myself. I come from a family that programmed me and trained me to be out in this world and out in the streets and knowing how to maneuver. So you can't lure me with no money or nothing like that, like meaning like, if I don't want to do the deal, I ain't gonna do the deal. The difference between me and a lot of artists is I started doing music for God. My grandmother played the piano, I was in the church, I sung in the choir, I played the drums, played the piano, sung in the choir for God, went to different churches and sung here and there, right? For God, doing music in the studios, making gospel music, making hip hop, but I started off doing music for God. So I'm not gonna let money dictate every move I make when it comes to music. It's a blessing for me to be able to create. The money is gonna come. So I just pride myself in treating people right, and relationships outlast money. So you treat people right and you move the correct way, you'll have longevity. So for any artist or anybody that's a hater or just a fan or whatever you are, if you feel like some of your favorite artists fell off, sometimes you gotta just go take a trip down there and link up with them and see how they living. Cause I can speak for the artists that's in Texas. We still getting money, we still working, we still touring. We not broadcasting everything we do.
Lil Flip's experience offers a chilling insight. He revealed they attempted to infiltrate his personal sanctuary, sending someone to his home under the guise of a spiritual cleansing. This wasn't legitimate guidance, it was a brazen attempt at what Flip describes as demonic rituals inside his own home. Imagine the audacity. But even more disturbing are the revelations from other artists. Fellow rapper D1 exposed the industry's darkest secret: literal record deals offered in exchange for participation in homosexual acts, not metaphors, but actual physical compromise as payment for mainstream success. This is systematic exploitation, dangling everything a struggling artist dreams of: major label contracts, radio play, mainstream recognition, behind acts that would destroy their self-respect forever. The technique only works when selfish ambition overrides moral boundaries, when fame becomes more important than dignity.
Come on, bro. Every year, they're like, yo, who is the new street rapper that need to get signed and get pushed out there? Not in one city, but in every major city. Every year, it's like, man, who is the new street rapper that we could sign that's gonna impact the masses in their city, and we gonna blow them up, and they young, so they don't realize that they being used right now, you heard me? They don't realize it. We gonna make them rich, and we gonna get one from every major city, because that way, we can make sure that they give birth to a whole bunch of mini-me's that's looking up to them. And it's up to the older artists who know better and who understand this to say, man, I gotta get in the ear of that youngin' right there, because the industry is hot on them right now. The industry ready to use them and ready to to them. So as an OG, I gotta make sure I get their ear as well and tell them, hey, don't let them people make you crash out. That's why we need real OGs in hip hop. But we got DGs a lot of times. A DG is a disappointing grown-up. And that's what we got. That's what we got a lot of in hip hop, bro. We don't got OGs who really want to get the ear of them youngins, man. So that's dog. Like, that's tough.
Yeah, that's wild, man. Because I was wondering for a while, man, like, how do they find these rappers to push this, agenda? But, you pretty much gave me the answer, man.
It gotta be somebody that's desperate. It gotta be somebody that wants fame and money more than they want to push a message and has morals and integrity. So they find those people who are willing to with their services, and they take them and they say, cool, we got exactly what you need. We got a platform and we got some paper. So come on, you just gotta do our work. That's how they find them. And in the music industry, you got so many people that rap nowadays. More people want to be rappers than basketball players nowadays. More people want to be rappers than any other job. Teachers, electricians, welders, doctors, lawyers, accountants. So since people want to be rappers, we have to be able to understand what's happening. They just looking for, man, who is desperate? Do you have to be talented to make it nowadays and be an industry plant? No, man, you don't have to be talented. They can get you the beats, the best beats in the world. They can get you the beats. They can put the hook on the song for you if they want to just give you the hook, and they could be like, just rap. And then we could put millions of dollars of promotion behind you as well. They can do this type of stuff. They have the power to do that. So we have to have the power to resist, bro. And that's all I'm trying to do, brother. You hear me? All I'm trying to do is wake up artists to where we see what's going on and to where we like, man, for once in history, we're gonna come together and say we don't want to be part of this manipulation that's going on.
Those who refuse to play along face brutal retaliation. When an artist maintains integrity, the industry attempts a complete professional elimination. No radio play, no major label interest, no mainstream media coverage. They want you erased from public consciousness. It might look like these artists fell off, but that's a carefully constructed illusion. Without millions being spent on marketing, billboards, and constant promotion, the average person is brainwashed into thinking an artist isn't relevant. Lil Flip explains that success is subjective. While the industry starves them of mainstream visibility, independent artists are still touring, still making money, still connecting with their core fan bases. They're doing the work, just not on the industry's terms. Yet despite this systematic suppression, an alternative path thrives. Artists who refuse to compromise are discovering a route to genuine success that doesn't require selling their humanity. Lil Flip, Paul Wall, Slim Thug, and others continue to tour, record, and build authentic connections with fans. They prove that longevity comes from treating people right, maintaining relationships, and providing real value, not from manufactured hype. This path bypasses the corrupt gatekeepers entirely. Instead of begging for approval, independent artists deal directly with consumers, offering great customer service and building sustainable careers based on genuine loyalty and shared values. Their music resonates because it's authentic, reflecting actual experiences rather than manufactured personas. They don't need the industry's approval because they have the people's respect.
This leads to the industry's most sinister secret: deliberate social engineering. They systematically suppress positive artists while promoting destructive ones. Think about the artists who receive massive media promotion, those who glorify violence, degrade women, or push substance culture. Meanwhile, conscious artists, those promoting family values, spiritual growth, and community, are actively buried. This isn't accidental. It's a calculated strategy to normalize self-destructive behaviors, making audiences believe that toxic content is the norm and positive messages are rare or unrealistic. The industry seeks out the new street rapper to sign and push every year, young and malleable, so they can be used. They fear artists like J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar, not because they aren't profitable, but because more artists like them would create a generation that doesn't need the flaunt jewelry or fancy cars to be intellectual, woke, or godly. That threatens the entire agenda of social destruction disguised as entertainment.
So now you know the truth that Lil Flip and D1 risk their careers to expose. The music industry isn't just corrupt, it's actively evil, targeting desperate artists with degrading proposals and systematically suppressing positive voices. If 99% of industry people are fake, how many of your favorite artists actually sold their souls for the fame you're helping them maintain? And more importantly, knowing what you know now, will you keep supporting a system that rewards spiritual compromise while burying artists with real integrity? The choice is yours. Every stream, every purchase, every view is a vote for the kind of industry you want to exist. Choose wisely.